So you've heard about the full body yes, the fuck yes, the hell yes, this kind of decision making. Well, I want to add some refinement to that. I believe that it's an integrated approach of both masculine and feminine. And the first thing I'll say is that coming back to our body to receive information is spot on. Yes, that is the feminine. That is our province. That is like tapping us into the field of intelligence. Our body is the indicator, the barometer of truth for us. And so it's natural to assume that if I'm fully lit up, that's my truth. Or if I'm fully lit up, then I should move in that direction. But actually, it's one piece of information. There are two things that we get to integrate into this conversation. And it's a beautiful conversation to have because the divine feminine is waking up, and refinement and subtlety are part of the maturation process of the divine feminine awakening, of our arising, because we're really here to live integrated. It's the circle and the line. We're both masculine, we're both and feminine. And so this embodiment is bringing back the feminine, the remembering that our bodies are actually more intelligent than our minds. Full yes to that. So one of the shadows of this is bright, shiny object syndrome. And you may be familiar with that. That's where, and I get this all the time. So that's why I started thinking about these full body yeses, because I was like, I get them all the time. When a friend says, hey, do you want to go to France on a Mary Magdalene trip? And my whole body lights up. Yes. And so there may be this sense that I need to go. I need to make it happen. And I could choose that 100%. And I know that timeline would be beautiful. Right? And it would probably have its ups and downs too, because all of life is dual. So it has everything in it. And I'm sure I'd get some gold, because that's just how I live my life, that no matter what, I will get the gold. But let's go back to that example. So if I feel really lit up by that, I also get to include my intelligence of my priority and what I'm up to, my commitments. So then I look at my life. Is that what I'm up to at this moment? And right now I'm up to building the Evolving Sisters Network. That doesn't mean that going to France wouldn't serve me if I chose it. But when I sat with my choices and I sat with what is really on my menu right now, I got really clear that staying the course and tolerating being uncomfortable. I was going to say tolerating being comfortable, but I don't have to tolerate that. I'm a Taurus rising, right? Tolerate being uncomfortable is part of my path right now, because where I'm going, what I'm doing in building a movement is far greater than this, and greater than who I've been being, right? Because we have who we're being. Whatever we have is what we're being, right? Because it's be, do, have. So if you want to have something different, you get to be someone different. And that means most of the time you can't drag the past into that moment of creation. You get to reinvent who you be. And so I'm constantly reinventing myself. And if I look at that full body yes, let's say, or that hell yes, fuck yes to travel, for example, I would see that for me, that's taking me out of the moment. It's a distraction. It's really a distraction. It's an escape, because sometimes the moment of creation, of landing the creation in 3D is so challenging because it's outside of what I know. And so, of course, I'd rather go off and have a spiritual experience or be with friends, whatever, be distracted, even if it was, not a good trip. I would rather be distracted in some ways. And so the fuck yes, hell yes, full body yes gets to get integrated with what am I really up to? What's my purpose? Where am I headed? What's important to me? And there are times in our lives when doing pilgrimages are of massive importance because we know that we're getting a spiritual download. It's our time to receive the download. It's our time to expand in our consciousness, in our spiritual beingness. It's time to receive new guides or the awareness of the guides that are already there. It's time to put ourselves in sacred space. I'm just using that as an example. So all of that feels right and true. And combining that with where am I going? What am I doing? Am I trying to escape? Are questions that we get to temper the information. It's included in the information of that full body. So then what do I do with it? Well, I know that that's something that gets to be there, and the right time and the right place will present itself, or I will create that when the time is right. And so allowing myself to stay on course, to be committed to that which I said that I'm committed, to be up to something big, to be willing to be uncomfortable, to be willing to go through obstacles, to be willing to confront that sense of self that can only get to here. And I have to make a quantum leap in my sense of self to manifest the next level of my vision. I get to ask myself, will it serve me to travel or not travel, for example? Because the real priority is that one. And that's what you get to ask inside of it. I hope that supports you in becoming more refined and more subtle in integrating your feminine power, your feminine knowing and wisdom with your masculine ability to direct yourself in the place that you want to go.